I'm contestant number 3, come from China. It's my pleasure to share my speech with my global friends. First of all, I would like to begin a story which is about global citizens from a fairy tale. Once upon a time, there was a kingdom whose culture is soup. One day, the queen saw a rat while drinking the soup. Soon, she scared herself to death. The angry king ordered that soup should never be made again, and the rats will be banished forever. Years passed. A chef couldn't stand it. Then he made the great soup with help of that rat who made misunderstood before. Then the fragrance finally brought sunshine and rain to the kingdom. Everyone is cheering and saying sorry, including the king. They had a wonderful life again. From this story, I've learned, if you are hurt, you can hurt the others, or you can be tolerant and nice. Which one will you choose? For me, no cynical and keep warm is a quality I wish to a global citizens. I know when we mention about good qualities, there are a lot come through your mind. Brave, honest, enthusiastic, and tough. Yeah, but it's not each of them can be generalized a global quality. So how can we understand it? From my perspective speaking, the quality of a citizen is an important part of standard to measure one country. So it needs every people in the world to realize it and make effort together. As the old saying in China goes, man's nature is good at birth. So here is an easy and necessary way, keeping warm to the world. Well, you may question the connection of cynical and warm. You see, each person have a different base of happiness. If desperate people are compared, one is bound to feel lost, which can probably lead to a jealousy. That's not a proper way. Instead, we can take it as a goal rather than let it guide our life. So we should balance the gains and losses in our area. Meanwhile, be nice, keep warm to people. Now I'm going to divide it in my idea into 3 parts to show you what exactly consists of the quality, no cynical, and keep warm. Firstly, reverence for culture. We need to revere the culture that gave birth to us and revere the stage that where we are. Like parents and teachers, they have to be affectionate and responsible enough to do a better inheritance. That's the reverence for themselves and the next generation. If we don't revere the culture, then we will be facing consequences, like the global paralysis caused by COVID-19 virus. At that moment, we shouldn't complain or pass the buck. We should bring force to the outside world and make through it. Secondly, be obedient to parents. It is because parents' hard work and struggle makes child what he is. All your beautiful memory, they should be involved. Right, it's their duty, but not their obligation to support you. And that's the reason why we should be more obedient to our parents than what we are today. Last but not least, I want to talk about the prejudice. Remember the story I told you at the beginning? After the rats were exiled, they divided into evil rats and good mice. Because people's prejudice, some of the rats were defining it as having a bad quality from a very early age. They did nothing wrong, but they are born to be treated unequally. Exactly like the human, due to poor backgrounds, physical illness, sexual orientation, suffered a lot, so that they had no beautiful life or even peaceful life. As far as I'm concerned, we are all the children of motherland. We're supposed to have bright futures, and we should also be loved. So please, reduce prejudice and learn to hug each other. In the last, I firmly believe that in the bottom of our heart, we will feel much better to do a good thing than a bad thing. Keep warm, make things right. That's the same purpose of our global citizens. Maybe the qualities I wish cannot improve the science or the economic. But, a country is where the people work. It can heal the country in the internal way, then problem will gradually disappear. We, as a global citizen, share a lovely homeland together. Gotta be ready when the world needs us to fight. We must be united tightly and always maintain the quality, no cynical, and keep warm, which we are born to be. Thanks for listening.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Contestant number 3.
Thank you.
Now I would like to invite our international jury to have questions with you.
Hello, how are you?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so how are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, so you have talked about obedience to parents or why it's important. So I have a very simple question. What do you
Yeah.
think that global citizenship education should be included in a school, or the family or parents or society also have a great responsibility to educate a child about global citizenship education?
Okay, thank you for your question. For this, my opinion is I think the first education place is our home, is our family. Because when we are born, and is our parents and our family company with us, and they will learn, they will teach us how to walk, how to eat, and that's a very important course that we have in our life. And next, I into the schools. That's the second important, because if you don't have the good if you don't have the good education of your family, and then you will maybe you can't accept the education in your school and include the topic I said. Maybe you will suffer a lot bad prejudice by your friend, and that's very important. And into the society, I think the society is one thing is very important. The experience can change your whole person, can change your whole like principle of your last like 10-year or 20 years life. So uh, all of this can have to be taken very seriously. And we are now almost like a 20 years adult, and we can change the past. So we can do is starting now and to balance all of it and to make it better. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. It's a great answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi,
Hi,
Alex.
it's my turn, right?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm very clear.
Okay. It's very kind and smart of you to learn something positive from a fairy tale. But my question is, but if in the real world, if the real world is not so friendly, let's say if you want to be positive and ready to share and open up to one person, but you're not accepted, what would you do?
You mean I want to share my idea to a person,
Whatever
and
you want
that's
to share.
not
Your information, your
okay?
idea, your resource to anyone or organization, but they're not so friendly to you. They don't accept you. What would you do?
Okay, thanks for your question. First, I think I will try to understand their principle of living, and I will try to get a deep touch to their life, and try to get in touch in their circle. And when they can recognize me, and I will share my idea, and little by little, and I will take them to into my principle, and take them to realize, to experience my feeling and my thoughts. And I think because we are all become the same family, we are all the children of one homeland. I think we can realize each other, and little by little, as long as I am keeping a really good heart, they will realize me.
All right. So from listening to sharing, right? So
Yeah.
I have another simple question. So you learned
Okay.
a lot of things from fairy tale. So what did you learn
Yeah.
from COVID-19 lockdown in China as a global citizen? What did you learn from
Well,
COVID-19?
okay, that's question. We can also get in touch to my main point. My main point is no cynical and keep warm. Well, and the reverence for culture. I think the reverence for culture include the reverence for nature and the reverence for the stage. The first main reason that the COVID-19 virus is explosion is because people don't revere the nature, and they maybe explode the nature, and we have a very bad result. And the second one is some people, when they know this news, they don't come to find how to solve this. What should I do? What they do is, why me? Why you do this to me? Why is us to suffering this? So it's waste a lot of time and reduce a lot of chances to make it up. And what I learned is next time when we're facing anything, the first thing we should think about is the result, is how to solve it and not complain or something.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alex. Interesting questions. Let me go for a poll. Here is now on the screen. Meanwhile, contestant number 4, please be ready. Half a second to go. I'm sorry, I couldn't give more than 2 minutes for the polling, and the audience are increasing. So whoever could vote within 2 minutes, we are only considering that. Here are the results. Contestant number 4.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Can you? Okay. Hello and good evening to honorable judges of Global Unitalks, dear contestant, and dear audience. I'm number 4. I hope you enjoy my speech. First of all, I want to talk about a person named Hugh Evans, who impressed my speech a lot by his story. When he was 12, he started raising money for communities in the developing world, and he was awarded the chance to go to the Philippines to learn more. There, they were taken into a slum, what was literally a pile of steaming garbage, as he calls. There, he saw the difficulties that people go through it, and then asked himself, why should anyone have to live like this when I have so much? Over the coming years, he thought that we need to confront these challenges on a global scale and in a systemic way. And he tried to mobilize a large group of citizens back home to insist that our leaders engage in that systemic change. A few years later, he joined a group of college friends in bringing the Make Poverty History campaign to Australia. They staged a small concert around the time G20 with some local Aussie artists, and it exploded one day when they got a phone call from big artists like The Age, Bono, who all agreed to headline their concert. And finally, the Australian government heard their collective voices, and they agreed to double investment into global health and development, an additional $6.2 billion. Crazy, right? Well, that wasn't enough. So they co-founded an organization called Global Citizen, and they launched the Global Citizen Festival, which hosted some of the world's biggest artists like Rihanna, Beyonce. They made sure that leaders who need to hear their voices couldn't ignore them. His story inspired me a lot to talk about qualities of a global citizen. I think the main idea of being a global citizen is to understand not only his needs or only his national needs, but to understand what world nations need. Today, we live in a world when all of us is connected by our daily actions, social media, high technology. We are not alone in this world. Our actions affect other people, and global citizens are aware of this reality. So, for example, if there had been a big fire in somewhere 1,000 years ago, a lot of people wouldn't have even known it because there were less people and less communication. And it wouldn't be a serious problem for the environment too, because there wasn't global warming and climate change. But unfortunately, today there is. And global citizens are collecting to solve this problem. I think most of you know Greta Thunberg, who has been making protests and was trying to motivate people and government to take action against climate change. In my opinion, she is a global citizen because she is motivated to make this world a better place to live, but not just for herself or for her nation. She does it for everyone on the earth. She is motivated, she is worried about different people from different countries, different cultures, and that's what a global citizen does. Being a global citizen also means making changes about anything. For example, extreme poverty, human rights, climate change. Global citizens establish a lot of associations for good aims. For example, they pay the education bills of poor students in Africa. They donate money for people who are starving. They protest for gender equality. And at the end of the day, they change things. They reach a lot of people. Some people judge global citizens with arguments like, you cannot change this world by yourself or with few people with you. But global citizens are hopeful because they know that if they can affect just one person, that person can affect another, and it continues on from there. For a global citizen, I would say speaking different languages is a perfect opportunity to communicate with different people. But recently, it is not an obligation because we all have translate application, which works great. But of course, for a global citizen who wants to travel the world and communicate with people face to face to understand their problem better, speaking different languages is a great advantage. Also, another important qualifier that global citizens have is using social media for good. They try to create awareness about problems and provide solutions for it as they see the bigger picture in general. In conclusion, I believe that we all have to act like global citizens. Since I've made a lot of research about the topic, I think that we have to act like global citizens because major problems like climate change, global warming, human rights do not affect just one or two countries. They affect all of us. So, for example, if we want to continue to live on the earth in future as global citizens, we all have to take action against climate change right now. Or if we want to stop coronavirus to spreading, as global citizens, again, we all have to take action against coronavirus right now, today, all together. I really believe that global citizens can solve major problems with unity. Thank you for listening.
Wonderful. let's invite our jury for the question and answer session. Ms. Quinn.
Yes, thank you so much, contestant number 4. That was very enthusiastic speaking, and
You're welcome.
this begs the question, do you tend to suggest that helping needy people is an important part of being a global citizen? And do you see yourself as one?
Helping which people? I couldn't hear you, sir.
No, in your speech, you did mention some of the people who've helped out the needy in the society, right? So do you think that that's an important aspect of being a global citizen? And are you one of those? Do you see yourself as a global citizen in that area? Can you hear me now?
Okay. Yes, I could hear you very well. Thank you so much for repeating your question. I really believe that, helping other people from different countries, different cultures is an important issue for being a global citizen, because we can help people in our country, but as long as we don't do it worldwide, we cannot reach a lot of people. And I really believe that I'm a part of it too, because in our tradition, I mean, in my country, a lot of family does it. Every year we do food aid, food aid for people who needs it. And I think this year and the last year we sent our food aid to Africa for children who were starving there. And it really made me feel, so happy and make me feel so confident, because I knew that I didn't ignore those children who were starving, who had a big pain. And it was something so good for me. And I think being a global citizen is not just about, helping human beings too. It is about also helping animals. So for example, in the streets, when I see a dog, I can just stop myself to help him, and I call my brothers and sisters to help them too, because love and the other things, helping, I think these are things which we can spread together to all of the world.
Nice. You'll be expecting the next question from my colleague.
Okay.
Thank you, Professor Queen. Hello, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine. I'm a little bit nervous, but I can handle it.
Don't be nervous, be relaxed. I'm gonna ask a very easy question. You have talked about individuals' action that are changing, that are having a great global impact, right? So
Yes.
there are so many global citizens that have great global impact. So among them, which one is your favorite? And what quality of that person amazes you the most?
Okay.
I'm audible, right?
Yes, I can hear you. I was just thinking. I don't know. It's just like there, as you said, sir. There are a lot of global citizens in this world, and unfortunately, we can't see all of them on the TVs, and we can just know all of their names. I would like to know it, but unfortunately, I don't. We don't. But these people exist, and between them, I think Greta Thunberg is kind of my favorite, because she was my favorite, and that's why I mentioned about her in my speech. And as I said, the main idea that I mentioned about it was she's worried about all of us. And I made a lot of research about climate change, and I learned that if we don't take action against climate change right now, in 40 or 50 years, we all be able to drink just a half of glass water for a day. And I just said it's a very important issue. We have to fix it, but there isn't so much people and governments who are really concerned about this topic. And the courage of Greta Thunberg to walking through countries, social media, and do all of this brief speech in front of UNA. These things impress me a lot, and I think we are in the same age with her. So I said, if she can do this kind of things, we all can do, because we have social media and other things. So yes, Greta Thunberg.
Thank you. She's my favorite one too
You're
nowadays.
welcome.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Good. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, contestant number 4. It's now the time for polling.
You're welcome, sir. Okay, I'm waiting.
I think she works as senator in the United States. She's representative and a senator. Senate. Alexander Cortez is my favorite. Alexander Ocasio-Cortez.
Half a minute to go. Here are the results. Good.
Thank you
Contestant
so
number
much.
4. Yes, thank you so much for being here. Excellent. Now we go to the contestant number 5. Thank you. Contestant number 5.
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool.
Here, I'm contestant number 5. You hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, great. So, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is contestant number 5. It's my great pleasure to join you. So before I begin, I'd like to ask a question. In this century of globalization, people expect China to play a more important role. So I want to ask, what role do you want to play? The name of China means the middle of the world. Today, China bears a future mission and a central role in the world. Meanwhile, it means Chinese youth who stands on the shoulder of the giant are undertaking more responsibility to the world issues. The world is facing too many challenges, such as climate changes, refugees, inequality, lack of rule of law, gender discrimination, and so on are the problems we are struggling with. What responsibility you bear and what effort you put in and what vision you have will be more and more important to the world of the future. So as a global citizen, with an international perspective, try to make yourself more compassionate for those who need your help, which is one of the most basic but necessary qualities for a global citizen. Beyond that, I believe global citizens should be more sober to deal with world issues, more compassionate to the vulnerable groups, and more cooperated with diverse culture and more inspiring people in faith. Opposite said, there are still too many undeveloped areas and more poor population in the world, and their social and economic development are far behind the average. Syrian issue, which has lasted for many years, has not been properly resolved. The bloodshed in Syria has resulted in deaths and injuries, with more than 3 million people displaced from their homeland. More than half of Syria's population, a full 9 million people, cannot afford to live normally. The Central African country of South Sudan is still in a state of civil war. In addition, humans have faced climate problems for years. If we don't take effective action now, this problem will continue to affect the lives of future generations. Sober-minded makes individuals face differences frankly and find the proper way to solve them. It is better to think before you act. Compassion is necessary. We should learn to balance passion and compassion so as to better serve the world community. Cooperation will become the normal topic in this century. We need to have the courage to face up the challenges in economic, political, or social realms. I'm not sure when you start to consider about the global citizen, but this topic for me, maybe from the first time I joined a host family, from the first time I left China to become an international exchange student, from the first time I made my first Swedish friend. I hope from now on, from this moment, you can take your time to think about the qualities to equip a global citizen. For 21st century, as a global citizens, so of you, including myself, who are living in peaceful countries at this moment. But please, assume you are in Syria. If so, what you will do for yourself, for your family, for your country, then nail it down. I sincerely hope that all of you can offer your own contribution to make the world a better place, a better world, to be a better global citizen. That's all. Thanks for listening.
Wonderful. Now is the time for the question and answer for you. Q&A. Alex, are you there?
It's my turn, right?
Yes, Alex.
Thank you for the speech. It was really, really nice. My question is, if you can get $1 million, but you can only use it to improve your or the world's globalization, what would you do?
Oh, it's hard. First, 1 million. I will take half on myself. It is more like individual thought because like what I mentioned already in my speech, because I think compassion is very important. So $500,000 I will use on myself and just going to what can I say, like to helping others, like the poor people, probably from Syrian people, or probably South Sudan or other country like African country probably. And during my Swedish time, I learned that country. I saw a lot of people was begging on the street. I want to help, but I don't have a lot of money. So that will be a good opportunity for that. And I can just donate for them. And that half of that million, I will just directly send this money to kinds of like organization. Probably this kind of organization can help the Syrian people and help them to get rid of the workplace. It might be not that useful for that kind of little money, but I hope it can help them to get food, water, or clothes, etc. Yeah, that's
You're very generous. If I were you, I would just spend most of the money on traveling to see the world. What if it's $1 billion? What if it's $1 billion?
Oh God, that can do even more actually, because I was learning the medical, so I want to be international doctor. So that's very important actually. I would like to just use whole money and take a bag and take all my medical tools and directly go to Syria and help them. That's my big dream, actually, because I have talked that, and I have write a lot of blog about this kind of news, and I would like to go in there and to help them. But first of all, I don't have a lot of money, and I'm still learning from medical, so it's a really long way to go. But if it can be achieved, I will be like that. Just take the money and directly go in there. I hope peaceful.
Actually, you can actually have a fund and hire more people to help you to help people around the world. But your answer is really great. It's also great. I like it.
Thank
you very much.
Hello, contestant 5. How are you today?
Yeah, hello. I'm fine, a little sleepy probably.
All right. My question to you is, what would you consider are 3 characteristics of a global citizen? I'd like you to choose one, please, and explain your answer.
I didn't hear clearly before that first part, actually.
Okay. What would you consider are 3 characteristics of a global citizen?
Mm-hmm.
Choose one, please, and explain your answer.
Okay. I still choose compassionate, actually. Okay, I'll explain that. Because, like from my side, I know that a sentence from Tagore, and he said, with knowledge we become powerful, but with compassion we become perfect. So if you study in a school and if you learn in a university, whatever, and teacher told you to learn different kinds of languages or different kinds of knowledge, math, Chinese, whatever, but no one told you to be compassionate. That is very important, actually. But for me, like if I explain compassion, I think compassion is an act of taking into an account one's actual or possible behavior in a wide range of social relationships. So so it's very important, and it's really help the gestion for that kind of social indifference, and it helps to make you a better person, or just like what I said, I want to be a kind of person like I have the compassion and I want to use my money to help people or try my best or use my ability, whatever. Okay. That's my answer.
Thank you very much for your answer. Well done.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Well, now I'm going to have a poll and then we will take a break, a coffee break, or just take a relax for 5 minutes and we will come back again. So let me give a poll first. Thank you.